24, Driving Business.
Welcome back for the break. This is Women in Business Kemcha Doreen on Smart 24 TV. Now we are still talking to Madam Regina Nakayenga, the CEO for Rena Beverage Solutions Limited. What surprises me the most that we hinted about in the first part of this episode is the fact that you went late on the very last day, yes, for that particular training. Out of all those that had been there for 2 days prior and earlier, out of this came Rena Beverage Solutions Limited. You are dealing in hibiscus basically for nutritional, medicinal purposes, and of course enjoyment. Yes?
Of course, nourishment.
Nourishment, of course, that's also key. But it is the resilience, it is the ability to go out and try other products, the competition that is there on the market and come out with something beautiful. And you keep growing. You have okra coffee coming in, you have it's making wonders as well. Because right now Ugandans, I think, are expanding in their minds and embracing organic products. Yeah. But you started in 2010. And I know by that time, most of the Ugandans, even those ones abroad, were thinking about the quality, the poor quality, and the low quality of our products. Just briefly tell us how it was. How was that attitude that you found when you were releasing your product?
Mindset was really bad.
Yes.
And if you went to the market, people would be asking you, from where? Uganda?
I don't want to know.
One thing which really annoyed me, and I still remember, is when a friend got visitors from the diaspora, served my wine, and the visitor said, wow, it is wonderful. It must be very expensive wine. Where did you buy it? Asking their friend. And he said, this one is made by a friend of mine here in Chireka Parish. Yeah. And yeah, she makes the wine. Yes. They said, no, it can't be. It can't be. You are lying. This is so good to be made in Uganda.
This is too good to be made in Uganda?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the mindset.
So it was so disheartening because we encountered so many of those things, and sometimes our salespeople would get annoyed and so on and so forth. But good enough, that friend of mine brought the visitors to my place, and they have become loyal customers.
Yes,
which was very good. But there are also lots of competitions. Well, when we talk about competitions, it also doubles with the challenges. But there are many products on the market which are not certified, and sometimes you find that the quality is really still wanting.
Yes.
I have tried to engage some of them to uplift the quality, especially with the hibiscus products. I formed the Uganda Hibiscus Development Association, basically to bring together the different actors in the hibiscus so that we see what qualities do we face in processing, in sourcing raw materials, and so on. Yes. And some of them have really improved. But we want to make the hibiscus a household name.
A household name. And indeed, but these are talking about, it's not even just hibiscus really. I know we're talking about hibiscus, but it also cuts across to all the other different agricultural products, whether it is coffee, in the way it is handled, is it dried down, is it, dried on a different warmish, whether it is something like vanilla, all these different, it's when you come to think about it, because as you were talking about mindsets, I actually flashed back and thought about the Bubu campaign. Yes, Buy Uganda, Build Uganda, and how instrumental it is in removing those mindsets and encouraging Ugandans to come. And now we are proud. Most of us are coming up, and we are very proud to see that these products are made by Ugandans and actually there for the taking. One of the things that gives me particular enjoyment is actually getting out in the supermarket shelves, because every time I get to the supermarket and checking out the products, the packaging is beautiful. Yes. I get to see products and I'm like, I didn't even know that tea or coffee can be made from avocado seeds and jackfruit seeds. There's always something new that I get to see. And Uganda is growing. But also in this growth comes the competition that you're talking about. Even as you rally all the hibiscus growers and all these stakeholders, you still have the competitors. And when I talk about competition, I also want to bring in the other part of, what about when you have been planning and growing your Rena from 2010 and another person comes in tomorrow and all of a sudden you see a new hibiscus, product on the board. Maybe sometimes we've heard of workers being snatched to go and start another product. What about those? Do they scare you so much?
All those things are happening. And I said they double as a challenge. But what is keeping us is the quality.
Yes.
We have standards, internal standards which we have set. And I'm sure everybody who comes here will have a small unity, but when they come in, they don't feel offended.
Yeah.
So they even do the peer selling. And then we are passionate. Our team is passionate. And it is always exploring opportunities.
Yes.
We comply to certification, so we regularly take our products to NBS for certification, and now we are pursuing ISO. So we are even ready for export.
But coming back, I want you to please stress into the camera and talk to that woman who has her business and is starting from down, just starting with baby steps. Because when you're talking from 2010, you talk about constant, adherence to the standards. You're talking about constant, certification. You're talking about a clean sanitary facilities that you operate in, internal structures, external structures. Please just look at that lady right there and stress to her about how, as a woman in business, she should be looking at these things, because she needs to know. She needs to know. Please just take a minute and stress.
Okay, dear viewers, I really want to
encourage.
To encourage and insist on this and emphasize that if you are in business, you must set your standards. There are international standards and so on, but set your own standards at your workplace, which conform to the regulatory standards in Uganda, Uganda National Bureau of Standards, and then we have also the ISO, but we also have NDA, and take your products for regular testing, for phytochemicals, for biology and chemistry analysis, and that gives you confidence. Don't take any shortcut, whatever, because you will be shooting yourself in the foot. Then when you have that, competition will not
disorganize you so much.
Because there will be people who will be your loyal customers. They have seen your product on the market. Then when you have the quality standards which you are abiding to, you become consistent.
Yes.
And the quality standards go into even the production itself, the processes you take. So let your juice not taste very sweet today and tomorrow a little bit sweet, and then the other day
continuously changing every now and then.
Let your powdered product be consistent. If you are to change, make it better, okay? But not make it cheaper than what you have done. And let you not be driven by the price, the prices on the market.
The pressures.
Yeah, because sometimes competition can make you go wrong. You find that your product has somehow not moved for some time because someone brought a product, a similar product, and lowered the price. And then for you, you also want to lower the price.
Let's talk about how these other competitors can pressure you. I mean, you're still working on your second testing, the third testing. All of a sudden, you hear just outside your fence, yes? Well, what is it? All these bidongos, the cars, the media cars, blasting that music, releasing a new product of a competitor. You have to keep yourself in your right frame so that you don't panic.
You must be composed right from word go. And what guides you are those internal policies which you have set up. And we have seen these things come and go. We have ever had a close competitor. She put the juice where we put, lowered the price, but soon after, she could not sustain the market.
Yes.
So her costing was just on emotional. Ours is scientific.
Okay.
And then go for regular trainings. And these days, life is a bit easier. There are Zoom trainings. But there is a lot also to learn on the Google thing. So always learn and update your knowledge. But then improve your packaging.
Improve the packaging.
Improve the packaging so that it becomes attractive and of standard. For us, we have moved from the jazz because they were easy to manipulate. Our workers could do that for the labels, for the jazz themselves, and then sometimes you get disappointed. A customer calls you and says, but what are you doing? Is it because you have grown that now you make a poor quality product and saturate it on the market?
Before you get to know if someone is selling filtered products under your name.
Under your
brand.
And when you go close, it is when you find that the phone number is different. And also, as you grow business, I'm not really the campaign.
But this has happened to you.
Yeah, it has happened. It has happened to us severally.
Oh dear.
And we have still gone up. At least we are always going up.
Okay.
And
There are those who are very willing to ride on the backs of others. Someone has struggled all the way from 2010 to come to where they are, and then someone else just comes in.
Even your own salesperson can take the product from the store and then comes back with the same product and tells you
it hasn't been sold.
It hasn't been sold. But if you go monitoring, that is another thing which a woman in business should do. Monitor, physically monitor. You find the stores of your customers filled. Then you ask,
and yet you're not making sales.
Yeah, but they told me you are not even operating. Actually, I came to find out what had happened. So and so brings the products. Okay, show me the books, and then you see that even maybe 2 weeks ago they supplied when actually the customer.
Did that happen to you also?
Yes, when actually the customer is out of supply for the last 3 or 4 months.
Oh, yes.
You know, it is surprising. Ladies don't sit back there and relax.
But I want to know, yes? Let us talk about this. I have been asking more and more because I ask other women in business and say, do you have to micromanage every time? The last one told me that she doesn't have to micromanage because there are systems in place. So I'm actually thinking about your situation right now that you went through the other time and said, now, if you hadn't reached that point of quote-unquote micromanaging so as to go out and monitor on your own, you would not have known that someone else was trying to sell this.
There are so many ways of doing the micromanagement. Now, the CTVs are helping entrepreneurs to do micromanagement
on the premises.
On the premises, and there are also other gadgets which can monitor the movement of the salesperson and the payment. But before you reach that stage, you may really have to go physically and see what is happening. But also physical visits are very important because some people want the real interaction.
Yes.
The touch. And so I've talked about how we manage competition, and we also have the machinery. So ensure that you get the quality machines to do your output, or outsource some services, but make sure that you also have trusted people.
I've just recently known that you now actually make the hibiscus bags.
Yes.
The small sachets. Is it for someone who would want to reach that level, for the woman in business who is still maybe doing the powder, but would want, because we all see these sachets, these beautiful things, and you say, maybe one day I want to also pack, yes, and make my own bags. Maybe not hibiscus, but something else.
Even if it is hibiscus.
Yes, maybe. But I want them to be packaged like these little tea bags. Is it such a long process? Because I'm hearing that sometimes getting these all these products, yes, and the packaging, sometimes from abroad, even in an African country, is quite expensive. What's your story on that?
Our story is, having gone through the different products of hibiscus, the juice, the powder, the concentrate, we realized that there was a gap for the corporates. So they wanted to take hibiscus because they are becoming aware every day about the nutritional and the healing properties of the herbs. They wanted to take hibiscus, but not in a loose form. At first they expressed a need for high grade packaging, and so we put it in the tin, the food grade tin. But still some of them said, we wish you could have the tea bag where you end up with a clean cup.
Yes.
So we don't want the dredges, we want the clean cup.
Yes.
And so through USEA, we applied for a competition, and we won the competition. We got a low-cost loan from OVO, and we purchased the hibiscus tea bag machine.
Was it so expensive? If I should ask?
It is expensive because it was above 50 millions.
Can't they be fabricated in Uganda?
Well, they can, but I think the quality would be
different.
Issue. Yes. So we got it, and we are moving on like that. It has given us a big name, and now what we are working on, it is the improving the productivity of hibiscus from our outgrowers, even for other products like okra, mpirivuma. We have outgrowers who supply us, and these are mainly women. So talking about hibiscus, it is a difficult crop to harvest. It grows normally like a maize, like a tomatoes, but when it comes,
how long does it take? 3 months?
4 months you begin harvesting up to the 6th month.
Yes.
But the hardest part is the separation of the petal from the seed. That's where the farmer loses everything. Now we have developed a machine to harvest, to help with the harvesting, to do that.
Yes.
We are also providing solar dryers to groups. It is a pilot thing, but it has given us really a milestone, because the quality of our hibiscus tea bags and the hibiscus products are marvelous. As we grow and we are looking at the market, domestic market and export market, we are looking at so many tons of hibiscus to make use of the machine. And what
about, how do you get into, is it contractual basis for these outgrowers that you work with? Are they on contract, or you go and basically lobby and it's about the money? I ask,
it's a longer story, because we've moved with some of these farmers for quite a time, and we have transformed their lives.
Trust.
So there is trust. From the time when they were bringing us hibiscus full of chicken feathers, droppings, etc. That one which has the aflatoxin, to this time when they can bring a bag, you open it and you
clean.
Say, wow. And they feel happy because their product is not rejected.
They feel happy, literally, and you also feel happy because you worked with them in that journey.
Yeah, we worked with them, and now we are also adding them something else. I trained them in how to make the hibiscus tea for their homes
Okay.
and for their local markets. And the juice.
Yeah.
Then I have also introduced to them how to make hibiscus seed coffee. It is so nutritious, and then they save on the money. I've interested them to have a beehive at least, because hibiscus has very attractive flowers.
Yes.
So if they harvest the honey,
Yeah.
it will be an added advantage. And it is both not just socio-economical, but it is also healthy, because honey is very good.
It's also medicinal as well.
Medicinal, and when you put it in hibiscus, it is a perfect
it's a
match.
perfect blend. But however, also coming to think about it, because I wanted to ask you whether you have issues with the supply, because this happens, yes? Sometimes Ugandans we are normally so taken up by the next big thing that will give us money. If it is vanilla, sure, they've gone to vanilla. If it is Mpirivuma, they've gone to Mpirivu. Anything that really brings the money in. So all I was thinking about was the supply. Is it consistent? Until you mentioned the trust, that it is easy, and I believe, to have good consistent supply if you are able to walk with them along that journey of
and
trust.
buy their produce at the time when they want to sell it.
Oh,
wow.
Yes, yes.
And at a premium
at
price.
a good price.
Yeah, at least some 10% above the ordinary.
Oh,
so they will
yeah.
keep that trust.
Yes.
And they are sure of the market.
Because there are so many others who are buying this hibiscus. So why you?
And again, you estimate how much you need to be supplied with, so that you don't have an overflow and it becomes a problem to you. Yeah.
Now, talking about the export, we have talked about the domestic market. We have talked about, of course, we know that it's now a global village. It's very easy to get out. Even as we work on our quality, on the quality of our products, how easy is it to actually get out there? Because I want the one-on-one information from you. Because outside there, they're telling us you're not taking advantage of these global opportunities, this and this is happening, and you're not rising up to the opportunity. But when we talk to other ladies in business, women in business, they tell us things are very difficult out there. Is it the same for you?
It is still a hurdle. We've not yet penetrated through as we want, although last year we had an opportunity to export cutters of Oxfam, Uganda. We tried to get online and we could not.
Yes.
What seems to be holding us is now the ISO, which we are about to finish. You know, every day there are demands which
There is
come
something
up.
new. Yes.
And you need to know, if you secure an export market, you need to know their requirements.
Yeah.
So the ISO is very, very important. Then they talk of green economy, green environment, green business.
Yes.
Fortunately for us, our tea bag, it is fortunate and unfortunate, because on the domestic market, especially the hotels, they don't want this.
They want the string.
They want the envelope and the string. But those who are aware of the environment, they say this is exactly perfect. And for us also, in terms of nutrients and medicinal properties, without the string, it enables the consumer to be able to be patient. So that all the nutrients
seep out of the bag,
in those 3 to 4 minutes. But when they have the string, they keep on disturbing the thing. You know, it is like when you are giving birth and the labor pains are coming. The baby is going to come out at time X, but then the nurse tells you, push, push, push. So the baby gets tired and you get tired.
Yes. So if at all they are to use this particular one, but you have a divide, yes, whereby the market is saying, the domestic market is saying, you know what, especially the hoteliers are telling, bring the one with the string, the bag with the string, because that is what works for them. And then you have this other pool whereby those ones who are actually enabling you with export are telling you, no, for environmental purposes, for purposes of getting the best out of your product, do not put the string. So what do you do now?
Okay, it is actually being torn between loyalties, but sometimes you have to decide which market are you going to sell to. So now we are doing some footwork to get to the pharmacies, the health centers, the clinics, because one of the reasons we made this thing is for easy prescription.
Yes.
By you, who has a mother, who has a father home, and is going to take it without asking for the string, you will say, Mom, you ask for your very hot water and put one tea bag. She will not be there to ask, now bring a spoon. This girl has not brought the spoon, and then the girl has heaped the spoon. So it will be easy to regulate. Then the people in the pharmacies, they can easily adopt this as a natural immune booster. And they say, take 1 times 2, just like they prescribe the tablets. And that applies to all other users, even in the restaurants. They can say 1, and then they serve you, and you really nourish yourself as you are eating yourself.
And this reminds me that we always, as women in business, we always must be in tandem with the market dynamics. If the market is saying this, there is a shift in preference, you must be prepared to meet it. I just want you to take just two seconds actually and talk to that woman and encourage her to embrace this as we sign out.
Yeah, dear viewers, especially the lady in business, what is important for you is to know the business dynamics, but also your passion. And keep learning, think, and have a team that appreciates what you are doing, and train people, educate them. Thank you very much, Nakainga Regina.
Women in business.
Yeah, women in business.
And this has been another wonderful episode of Women in Business. I think you have heard it all. You have heard it all. Whether it is coming out afresh, whether it is going to that new workshop, the training workshop that is ever calling for empowerment of women and training, and what are you doing with the information that they give you? Are you going to be like Madam Regina Nakayenga, who came in last on the last day, but right now is the CEO for Rena Organics, this amazing Rena industry, this Rena processing factory? Are you going to be like her? Because it is up to you. So keep learning, keep unlearning, keep learning, keep growing, and keep getting better. This is Doreen Kemcha, Women in Business. See you next time on another episode.